Hello there, and welcome back to the podcast. I am Matt,
And I'm Joe.
and this is
Queers with
Quiz with
Queries.
Queries.
Okay,
Well,
work. We really messed that up.
we're moving forward. We are moving forward.
You guys. Yeah. So last week we said, oh, there's a delay, but we figured it out. In editing, then we were like, oh, wait, I said it too quickly this time because I overcorrected for the delay.
I just have to apologize that it's the same bloody intro every podcast. It's hello.
Right?
Oh no, we messed that up, didn't we? Anyway,
Right? We need to change that.
the listeners
We're
are
gonna change
gonna
our intro.
become disengaged. They're gonna be bored with the content.
Right?
I,
Gag. And we got a voice message this week from a very special listener named Cat Night Day from Fountain Rivers in Victoria. Here she is. Hi, guys. I just think it's really lovely that two homosexuals like yourself can just sit down and discuss your life so openly on the internet. I just think it's really, really great. Keep up the great work on this podcast.
Oh my god, Kath, darling. Oh, that is so nice and so heartwarming to hear. In fact, when we make this podcast, we have listeners like you in mind. So it's very fulfilling and validating to get feedback like this. Keep being a star, and we'll keep being homosexual just for you. Love you, babe.
So, how are you doing, Miss Thing?
How am I doing? Like, other than just being very tired, I think I'm better than I have been in a long time, particularly now that we're coming out of the virus lockdown, and just, I don't know, all the anxieties that I had with that. I'm feeling quite good. How are you?
I am actually like, here's the thing, I've just hit like a plateau of mental health. Like literally, like I can have like maybe like a bad day or a good day, but I'm at this baseline right now where where it is what it is. I'm just cruising through somnambulance, kind of sleepwalking through my days. No, like, because here's the thing, people are leaving their houses now. I am still not allowed to leave because I live with immunodeficient people. So I'm still cooped up inside, have not left the house since March, except one time when I went to get the flu shot. So, yeah,
And you went to the temple as well?
Oh, yeah, that. So it's just, I've settled into a routine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a healthy routine. I get my exercise in. I look after myself. I make sure that I get my study done. All of that. So it's a healthy routine, but it's not anything exciting or groundbreaking or terrible either.
Yeah, I'm surprised how you have stayed healthy and mentally stable after leaving the house literally twice since March. I'm leaving
Well,
all the time, and I'm just like, well, coming out of a very squashed period mentally.
well, I mean, Miss Rona has really given everyone a bit of a shaking up with their mental health, but I've been having a really good time. Like, here's the thing, I am an ambivert. A lot of people meet me and they're like, oh, that's an extrovert. I'm like, no, sweaty, that is an ambivert. I've been enjoying myself, staying inside, hanging out with my plants. They've been having a good time.
Well,
They're really loving the attention.
well, my plants are spending a lot of time with me, but still not getting that much attention.
Rip.
R.I.P. I think I'm definitely quite extroverted. So I think I have been lacking a lot of energy because of the not seeing the peoples.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I do enjoy spending time at home as well. But I'm excited to get the social life back. Though I was really surprised. I didn't realize that bars opened up as well. I don't know why, but
Oh,
I was going for a walk yesterday, and I'm like, I walked past a bar, and like it was packed, and I was thinking,
work.
oh my god, could I be doing something more
Bish, a
exciting with
packed
my life
bar.
now?
What time? What time were you out walking?
It was like 5.
A packed bar at 5? Wow,
Yeah, it
people
was
really
like
be
a Friday.
wilding
It
now.
was a Friday night, so
Yeah. Hold on. I'm just gonna take off this jacket because it is making these ASMR sounds. Like,
I kind of enjoy the ASMR sounds.
I'm just gonna take them off because
Great.
some people might find
Take
that
it off slowly.
annoying.
Take it off nice and slowly. There we
Um, there we go.
go.
Eternal audio issues. Um,
Always.
yeah.
In fact, I
But
bought. I'm feeling good today because I bought a keyboard.
yes.
Yes, and I feel like I've got this microphone now. I've got like a camera, a keyboard. I'm just like this
This recording artist.
recording artist.
Watch, he's
All
gonna
over
he's gonna
every
learn
form
to
of
play.
media.
Yes, you are going to learn to play, and then you're gonna play an intro and outro song.
Yes, that should be the plan. Honestly, I'm singing all day. I have so many lyrics ready.
You know, she's just talent. Sorry.
I think all I want to do is be able to like write a comedy song. You know how like standout artists like I just want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
If I can write one song, good or
Make it a
bad,
comedic masterpiece.
yeah, I think I can do that. The next Trisha Paytas, I Love Jesus. I could do that.
I love Jesus. Yeah, it's so weird. Like she's like a meme, but she's on that threshold of like I'm memeing, and I'm serious. So then some people are like, oh yeah, she's serious, and other people are like she's memeing.
Well, apparently I was talking to my friend Steph, and apparently she's a bit yikes
Oh,
in other terms. Apparently, like she just like tweets a lot about sexualizing and Broadway actors and stuff together. I don't know.
okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of digging
A
later
little bit of digging.
because I'm gay and petty and love tea.
Oh heavens!
I was about to explain what tea is to our listeners, and I was like, oh, surely the people listening to this podcast, the very small group, will all know what tea is.
I think that is a very very fair assumption that they will know what tea is.
Speaking of fair assumptions and unfair assumptions, the
Ooh.
one thing I wanted to point out last week, but I never got around to, was when you went, by the way, make sure that you listen to the one with the cover, with the colorful cover. I was like, if they're listening to this, then they already know. I didn't want to say anything. I was like, oh.
Okay. I'm feeling a little tacked. I'd like to defend myself. I just wanted to put a clear message out that yes, it's the colorful one, and it's going to be the colorful one from that episode forward. Because there is still, I'm pretty sure the old one is still up.
Oh yikes! They haven't taken it down at work. I'm gonna go Karen on the Spotify people.
Please do.
Karening is unsavory, but it gets shit done. Because we tried to go about it normally, and they still haven't taken it down. So,
Guess we're just gonna have to.
it is what it is.
I totally.
But-
oh, sorry.
Oh no! What were you
I
gonna
was
say?
just gonna say I totally told someone, oh yeah, I record a podcast on Spotify, just like a completely random stranger.
Yeah.
I tried that, tested the waters to see how that felt. I mean, it was good.
You were like, oh yeah, it was good. I'm like, I wouldn't tell random strangers that I record a podcast because I'll be like, oh, so you're like a narcissist.
Well, you got me.
No, I've told my friends, I'm like, listen to our podcast. Oh, yeah. So on the topic of this week, mental health.
Mental health.
How do you generally deal with being in a bit of a mental health slump?
Okay. Well, it's definitely reaching out to friends and just a constant calling. And which sometimes I feel like almost sometimes I'm using my friends too much because it's like I'm only talking to them about what's wrong with me. Do you ever get that? It's just like every time you call or something, it's just like, okay, I'm really sorry. Like, I hate to talk about this again, but yeah, this person's on my mind and I'm feeling shit about myself. And it's like, oh, can you counsel me?
Honestly, I can't relate.
Can't?
Not
Okay.
because not because I don't have issues, but because I like obviously if I feel like I need external support or like
Yeah.
another opinion or something, I'll reach out to people. But I feel like my first reaction is to internalize and introspect and be like, okay, what what went well, what didn't go well, what could I have changed, what
So
is out of my
mature.
control, things like that. Um, but again, that is just me. I am a bit of a weirdo in that sense.
Yeah. I think for me, I do a lot of. Oh my god! I just burped. We're not going to cut that out. You're welcome. Um, I do a lot of introspection and reflecting, but I also definitely love the validation of, I've did I do something bad? Was this bad? And then for your
And
friend
then
to
your friends
go,
are like, no, sweaty, you're
no,
perfect.
you're perfect. Okay, good. I already knew that, but yeah, thanks. It is good to kind of have a cry and for them to I love it when they just come back and they're like, oh my god, yep, I've been through the same thing, and
Yeah.
yes, we're not all perfect, and look, you've made mistakes, you've learned. Put on some Kelly Clarkson.
Love
What
Kelly
doesn't
Clarkson.
kill you makes you
Makes you
stronger.
strong. Yeah.
Oh heavens! What
Um,
what do you generally do?
so yeah, as I just said, I like to think things through, be like,
Yeah.
what was out of my control, what could I have controlled better? But sometimes situations happen and there's no point dwelling on it anymore. And
Mm,
it's more about dealing with how you feel about it. Because, like, realistically, if someone calls you, again, people haven't been saying this or anything, but this is just an example. If someone calls me ugly,
mm,
at the end of the day, they said it one time, it should have only hurt once. But if I keep going back and thinking about it, that is
yeah.
going to hurt me as many times as I go back and think about it. So beyond a certain point, it becomes a matter of like, how do I deal with this in terms of how I feel rather than what happened or what I can do in the future? So like, it's it's kind of like put on some Lizzo, put on some Kelly Clarkson, put on some Demi Lovato, oh, put on
Demi,
all of the 80s,
fantastic.
90s divas. Because I'm gay and gays love their Whitney, Mariah, and Celine.
Of course.
A little bit of Janet Jackson, a little bit of Aretha Franklin. You know how it be, like just all the gay icons. Gloria Gaynor.
Haven't heard of Gloria.
First I was afraid. How can you
Oh,
not
of
know
course.
Gloria
Sorry.
Gaynor? She
Thank
she sang "I
you.
Will Survive."
I will survive. Yeah, yeah. Um, but I think it also I like kind of returning to the thoughts because even though it makes you feel bad, like we always go back to it because for some reason we get something from that. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Also, there is something morbid
Mm,
about us in that we like to feel the sadness to get it out of our system. Like we
yeah.
want that catharsis. Like any kind of romantic upset at all, sweaty. I go straight to Adele. I put on her songs, make the lyrics all about me, and then
Mm.
cry. And then afterwards I just feel better. Actually, I don't know
It
if I
is.
feel better or worse, but for some reason I just do it compulsively.
I've been listening to the new Katy Perry album. Um, what's it called? Smile. Oh my god! That was exactly what I needed to hear. Everything
Oh.
in that album is just like it's never really over. Oh yes, Katy, I hear you. Feel that. I'm not even generally a Katy Perry fan, but I
Mm.
recommend that album.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, Katy Perry has some yikesy past, some yikesy things in her past where I'm like, I don't know if I want to support that as a queer person, but
oh, I haven't
like,
heard of
go
her
off,
Yikesy
sis.
past.
Um, so she has a song called "You're So Gay" when she talks about a
Ooh.
guy says he's so gay and that he should kill himself. Um,
Right.
and then yeah, and then when she was asked whether or not she's ever apologized for it or if she, you know, meant it or anything, she's kind of just said, like every party that I've played it at, people have found it really funny and laughed. So I'd like. I was like, that's not an apology to explain that other people find it funny. Other people finding it funny is not an apology, Katie. Um, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I want
like
to
it's
believe that she's genuinely grown.
oh, like it's weird because I do believe that she's grown. I do think she's changed. But at the same time, like growing and changing and
Mm,
being a good ally does not mean changing the way that you act and distancing yourself from the past. It
yeah.
means acknowledging things that weren't perfect about you in the past so that you can move forward from them without people having to doubt the authenticity of your actions. Um, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it'll,
absolutely. I was
as long as the more she doesn't address it, the more it's going to bite into people who know that she has that in her past.
I was talking with my friend the other day as well, exactly about this. I was just like, but what if I say something problematic and people don't like it? And it's just like, no, if you're being true to yourself or you're speaking about your experiences, and you genuinely make a mistake and then you address it later, you know, that's all you can do. That's people see
Yeah.
that. People see when you're being genuine.
Yeah.
So
Also, like,
Katie needs
I
to get on
think
top of that.
most things, yeah, I think most things are hard to completely take as offensive when it comes from a place um, of essentially not being malicious, but
Yeah.
just not being exposed to the proper discourse for it. Or understanding the discourse or the
Discourse.
nuances of the issue, because like there are plenty of people who
Yeah.
become more educated on things and then address the things that they've said in the past and said that's not a reflection of me anymore, and that's completely valid.
Well, moving on from that detour.
Yeah, but actually no, before we move on, is there anything that you do
Oh,
for your
okay.
mental health beyond listening to music? Because we've really just gone on a musical tangent.
I thought you were about to ask, like, before we move on, Matt, what problematic shit have you said in your past? I'm like, oh, okay, throwing me under the bus here. I guess. um, I mean, yeah, I've done nothing wrong. Perfect. What do I genuinely do other than listening to music? Because obviously I don't just listen to music.
Right.
I mean, also talking to a psychologist is good stuff,
Yes.
and seeing the doctor.
Yes.
we certainly love that. For I don't know, when I talk to the psych and you're just talking and you're holding back from saying things because you think they're going to judge you when their job is literally not to judge you and just help you, but whatever, you still get insecure about it.
Yeah.
And then for them to be like, that must have been very hard. And you're like, that really hit the spot. Thank you so much. It was.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just want to be validated that what you went through was genuinely a really tough experience.
Yeah.
But I also find, for me, beyond just listening to music, crying to Adele, like exercise helps a lot. It literally just, I feel like because I am, you know, I hate exercising so much, the pain of the exercise kind of distracts me from the emotional turmoil.
And there is nothing better than coming back from a run or whatever, and just being like, oh yes, I have achieved in my day to day. I can't feel bad about anything because I have moved my body.
Yes.
Um, yeah,
I
it
have
does.
moved my body, therefore today I have been good.
Yes. I mean, I was running, but I have not done that for maybe like a month or so. I was like halfway through a run, and I was like, why am I even doing this? What goal am I? Because I was just looking at all the other quarantine runners around, and I'm like, why are we all running? Why are we doing this? Like,
Right.
what goal are we trying to achieve? Like, I can
Yeah.
already run more than I could before, so I'm just stopping. I'm done.
Yeah.
But
But
yes,
like
exercise.
I feel like the kind of coping mechanisms that we've talked about so far have been quite healthy ones. Do we have anything that we do to cope that is destructive?
Oh, destructive. I mean, maybe I briefly touched on it in the social media episode, but
Right.
boy, do I take to that crazy universe. I mean, it's this knowing that if I go on here, I will feel bad.
Yeah. But you get
And
that little kick of validation though.
it's not even like, I mean, if I'm posting, yes, the validation, but I don't know what I'm searching for in other people's posts.
Is it me you're
Particularly people
looking
I don't know.
for? No,
Yes, it is. I was like, because I don't know, when I was obsessed with TikTok, and I mean that was
Yeah.
a bit of validation for me, and then I deleted it or whatnot, and I'm 31 days clean. Thank you. Still, even today, I was like, must go on TikTok. I really had to hold myself back because I thought I was having like these negative thoughts again. They were coming back. I'm like, if I go back on
And
that
it's
app,
all coming back to me now. Celine Dion has a song for every occasion. I'm
oh, thank you,
sorry.
Celine. I didn't even know that was a Celine song. But like when
What?
I,
What? Do you not know? I can't even remember the name because
okay.
you just shocked me. The one that says, "There were nights when the wind was so
Oh, okay.
cold."
Yes, that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Joe, you're just educating me on everything.
All of the gay culture.
All of the gay culture, and I don't know how you do it as well without being on social media a lot.
Well, honestly, I just like this is gonna sound so incredibly gay, but I just gravitate towards the gay icons. Like, I kid you not, like as a kid, when my mum put on Mariah or Whitney in the house, like I lived my entire life. Like, so then, like when the internet happened, when
When the
YouTube
internet.
happened, I was like, oh my god, let's put on all of these songs by Mariah and Whitney, and then after that, one thing led to another, and now all of all of gay history is now in this little uh, virtual, hypothetical, non-existent, not physically existent little like tome in my brain.
Look, yeah, damn. Honestly, I wish I was more like you.
Oh no, you trust me, you don't want to be me. It's so gross. Like, all I want to talk about is Judy Garland. Just all I want to talk about all day, every day.
Oh
You
my
do not want to be me.
And the excitement in your face right now as well.
Right? The excitement when I bring up Judy Garland's name.
Oh Lord. Honestly, like I didn't even know what I was watching on YouTube back in the day, but I feel like I would just log on and watch Natalie Tran community channel, like the one video she
Oh
would
my
post a week,
god.
and then I would log
Yes.
off like that was me done. How
Yes.
bloody brilliant. Was she?
Speaking of YouTube rabbit holes, my unhealthy coping mechanisms are distracting myself with YouTube rabbit holes,
Yes.
and also eating.
Oh.
Like I eat emotionally. It's not fun.
I'm definitely
And then I feel guilty after I
a
eat.
bored eater, but like I don't know. Eating is fun. Keep going.
It really is. Like, so when I eat emotionally, I
Yeah.
binge, and then after I binge, I feel bad, and then makes me feel worse. But then I eat to numb the pain. It's great. I
What
love
things
that
do
for
you
me.
eat?
Depends. Sometimes ice cream, sometimes
Yeah.
biscuits, sometimes chips. Depends on what there is. For some reason, when I binge eat emotionally, I never go for healthy food. I
Oh,
have a
never.
theory that it's that my brain is like, give me all the sugar, all the fat, all the salt, so that my reward centers can go the hell off and make you feel better for like 2 seconds.
Oh fuck! I go for like the Savoy biscuits. I don't know.
Oh my
I go
god,
a whole packet in one sitting.
legit!
5 minutes.
Oh, they're so good.
So tasty. What else do
Yeah.
yeah, lollies, chocolate. Yeah, I always am eating chocolate. If it's there, yeah.
I never comfort binge like lollies, as in like lollies, but chocolate, yes.
I'm getting more into lollies again. Like it's been a while, but I found myself getting those gummies.
Honestly, jelly babies and
Mm,
snakes were the
yes.
best. They were
Oh,
so good.
sour worms.
Oh my god, no, the
Tasty.
Starburst gummies.
Star.
Peak.
What?
Yeah, Starburst.
Oh, the best. The best.
Yeah, but like the Starburst like chewy lollies were like they were good and they were the OGs, but those
Except the cherry
Starburst
flavor. Blah.
gummies, those Starburst gummies, oh,
Oh, they are very
the
good.
greatest,
Mm-hmm.
god tier. Um,
God, yeah. I think what do I to say? Like ranking wise, it goes Starburst, and then I'd say maybe Natural Confectionery used to be good, but they changed the recipe,
they
and that
did.
like they did. I think it just like reduced sugar. Still tastes good, but doesn't taste the same. So now I'm going to rank Allen's above Natural Confectionery.
Fair. Quick question: what do you think the green gummies actually are? Like the green jelly babies and the green snakes, because they don't taste like any fruit. To like, they
It's
don't taste like
usually
any fruit
it's
that I know.
either lime or it's apple, and if it's lime, it'll be my favorite. If it's apple, it's like, eh.
You see, I kind of like both. The green
Ooh.
lollies to me are just they're everything. But I don't even know what fruit they're supposed to be. Apple makes sense. I just don't get lime from the green ones at all, but it is what it is. Um,
Lime and lemon is just like my favorite flavor of everything.
my favorites always tend to be the ones that aren't popular. The green ones and the orange ones are
Oh, the
always my
orange
favorite.
ones. Everyone hates the orange ones, but they're like top tier level.
Right?
Yes,
They're
they're
so
great.
good.
Um,
Mm.
everyone raves about red. I don't like it.
Yeah, no. I've never been a big fan of the red either.
Oh, look at
Um,
us just going
yeah,
against the grain
like
in every way possible.
like honestly, like the red lollies give me very like that. You know that very very artificial raspberry flavor
Yeah,
that they used to put in
yes.
like kids Panadol?
Mm.
Gives me very that. It's
And
very
like,
that.
yeah, and if it's a cherry flavor, and it's just like this toxic medicine taste.
Yeah, it's so
Oh,
bad.
disgusting. I think I've
Watch as everyone listening goes, red is the best, you'll suck. Cancelled by.
yeah, can somebody please send in a voice memo?
Right?
With your
Like
favorite lolly? um
rip.
I remember in year 4, this is such a detour, but I have to tell the story. In year 4, we had this special person come into, like, spiritual kind of guidance person come in to the school, and she's like, okay, now take a jelly baby. And everyone in the class took a jelly baby. And she's like, now the color you chose says a lot about your personality.
What?
Who chose the purple one? And me and this other girl, Kadira, chose the purple ones. And she's like, you're bossy. And we're like, fuck it up,
Sounds
sis.
about right.
Sounds about right. Then we kind of bonded over that. I went to Kadira's house that night and we were like nursing our fucking purple jelly babies. Like, yeah, that's right. We the bossy bitches. Yeah.
Yeah. But like we have our own little like cute little coping mechanisms. Some of them are healthy, some of them are unhealthy. You actually go to see professionals. I have yet to do that. Like I know that it's
Okay.
important to, but even if you don't feel like you have the need to, but at the same time, I'm kind of just like my life is pretty great. So
I feel like,
like
to me, like, whenever someone's like, oh yeah, I'm not seeing a psychologist, I'm like, you'll go see one anyway.
yeah. I mean like
I'm
they
like,
say
no,
that.
in like a, not in like, no, I think you need to see one. I think like there's
Yeah.
so much to benefit from like everyone seeing someone. I'm like,
Yeah.
you
No,
don't realize
definitely.
how many
That's
stuff like you can just dig up.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that's the
Yeah.
general consensus. Even if you don't have any, like, even if you think you don't have any real issues, you can,
Yeah.
you should go see them. Um, but my thing is that, like, I'm kind of like, okay, I am a broke uni student. I do not want to spend money on anything. I am the
Mental
queen of
health care
saving.
plan.
I know. Wait,
You
hold
can
on, I
get.
gotta sneeze.
Oh, bless you.
I've been holding that in for ages, this podcast.
Oh my god. A burp and a sneeze. What's next? No, we're not going down that path.
Ooh.
But
No, but
interesting. Oh wait, I literally forgot what you was. Okay, oh wait, the mental health care plan. During COVID, they've increased it to 20. You can get 20 sessions
Work.
covered when it used to be 10. So, if you're struggling mentally and you want to see a psychologist and you're worried about cost, go see your GP now.
That's true, but at the same time,
Yeah.
like I feel like I would feel bad if I did that because there are people who genuinely need professional help in this
Okay.
time because they're going through a hard time. I am having the best time. I am hanging out with my plants. My meals at home are covered. I don't have to like buy things. Like
Mm.
maybe sometimes I'll pay bills and I pay rent and whatever, but like money isn't an issue because I'm a job keeper. Um,
You're on
I
JobKeeper?
yeah. Um,
Oh, damn.
I I am doing things that fulfill me creatively. Like I write my blog, I do this podcast. I'm doing great at uni. I'm ahead of all of my deadlines. I'm talking to my friends, which is great. I'm eating well, I'm exercising. Like my life is like peaking right now in this pandemic,
I love how,
surprisingly.
and this episode's coming during the time of swap back when most people are going to feel like their life is crumbling and is going to shit. And listen to this and for Joseph to be like, my life is at its peak right now.
Everyone is going to hate me. Send in your hate messages. Thank you.
Please, we
I'll
need the
appreciate
clout.
it. Oh, no.
Oh,
Um,
but I,
but like,
oh, yes.
I was just going to say, we have our coping mechanisms, but it is important to understand when we talk about our coping mechanisms,
Mm.
most of the time, we're talking about our coping mechanisms for mental health problems, not disorders. There is a difference. So if I say I exercise and I listen to Lizzo, like that is not going to fix your anxiety. Go see a professional. Don't be like, oh, like I have anxiety, I'm going to listen to Lizzo. It's not going to help.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure Lizzo has a lot of healing qualities.
You're like Lizzo's gonna. You're like, oh, Lizzo listens to this podcast. She's gonna send you a hate message.
Why the fuck would Lizzo send us a hate message? We just
No,
complimented
she's
her.
she's the queen of positivity. I love her.
Of
Um,
tivity.
Positivity,
Of
yeah.
positivity. It just lagged.
Wait, what did you think I said?
The queen of tivity. I was
Oh,
like,
I thought
nativity?
the nativity scene. Oh, Mary.
Like my
No,
face.
yes, but there is a difference.
Yeah.
Like, if you have anxiety, go see someone. If you have what we call like sub-threshold symptomatology, go see a professional. What that means is like maybe you don't have panic disorder, but maybe sometimes you have panic attacks. Like, go see a professional.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I have panic disorder, but like maybe a few months ago, when I was like at a really low in terms of my mental health, and like I was having like I hadn't really had panic attacks before, but I was having them like often, and I couldn't focus on work, and it was very physical. This is like that heart racing and like your hands shaking, and just like
Yeah,
I need to lie down and just like stare at the roof, even though should be working right now. I'm gonna just lie
right.
here because I can't do anything else.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
yeah.
but good that I haven't had that for a while. And
That's
yeah,
good.
if you're experiencing that, definitely get professional help because it'll be good.
Yeah. Can I ask what specifically changed? That like I guess it might not necessarily
Mm,
even be just one thing, but what changed that made you, kind of experience them less often or not at all?
interesting. I think it was removing the triggers from my life, whether it was like
Mm.
the person who was triggering it or the social media, the TikTok. Yeah, literally.
So the person. When you were like the person and then maybe the social media, I was like, okay, so it was a person. Now we all know it was a person. We'll find out who and we'll cancel them.
We'll cancel them, please.
That person is probably a he because I know you.
Yes, can confirm.
How odd is it that the that we give so much power over our mental health and so much power
Yeah.
over our feelings to the people that we're romantically interested in?
Isn't that fucking crazy? Because
It's so insane to me.
if there's someone I like you don't even know, and you're just
Right.
like, they don't know who you are either, and but you're fixated on them because it's like you think your life is gonna
Yeah.
improve, or like something that they're gonna be able to give you something that is lacking in your life, and you're
Yeah.
like, if I am with them, I will get what they have. Um,
Yeah.
and so, but in the end, I felt like I was actually just triggered by seeing what they were doing, because I was like, oh, damn, I'm not as good as them. They're fantastic. They're amazing in every way, and I'm so shit, and they know it. They know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's really interesting to me?
Mm.
This is this is something that I've kind of been like that I figured out after my last breakup, which was
Ooh.
over a year ago. Um, so I realized that sometimes in a relationship or when you're looking for a relationship, you're not looking to be loved by someone else,
Mm.
and you're looking for the love that you think they can give you to be directed at you by yourself, which is which is weird. And hear me out.
Please explain.
If someone if someone loves you very deeply, there's a you believe that there's a feeling to it, right?
Yeah.
Like you believe that you can feel it. But here's the thing, you can't feel it. Like you know, because if you love someone else very deeply and they haven't been able to feel it, you know that, you know, they can't feel what you feel for them. Do you know what I mean?
Did you feel that for your past boyfriend, ex-boyfriend,
No, this was more
ex-boyfriend?
of a realization that I had afterwards.
Right.
It's so hard to explain. Let me try to explain it in a
Mm.
different way. Like when you love someone very deeply, you have this visceral, emotional, physical response to it that you can feel in your body, right?
Okay.
But they can't feel that you feel that for them.
Mm. Yeah, I'm
In the same
following.
way, we cannot feel when someone else loves us very deeply, right? I mean, they can do things to show us that they care. They can do things that express their love, but you can't feel love itself from someone else. Does that make sense?
That kind of makes sense.
The only love that you can feel in that way in your body, in your in your feelings, is your love for someone else. And yet you want that thing that you can't even feel. It's only the expressions of it that you can see and perceive. We want that so badly. And I'm like, I can give all of those things to myself. And when I love myself, I
Yeah.
can feel that feeling of love in my body and in my feelings as well.
And so now, after a relationship, do you feel like, oh, I don't really need to go back there for a while at least?
I mean, like, I haven't felt the need to go back there in, like,
Yeah.
since. Like, honestly.
Sweet.
I mean, like, it's weird because I'll oscillate between, like, accepting boyfriend applications and then 2 minutes later being like, no, bye. I'm like, meh.
Literally, yeah, me re-downloading Tinder, Grinder the lot, just being like, okay, I'm ready, and then you just like do a little bit of swiping. You're like, actually, I
Yeah,
cannot be
pretty
bothered.
much. And also, it's kind of like, no one is going to treat me as well as I can treat myself.
Exactly.
Bye.
I don't need to prove. Like, I feel like when I'm on the hunt, it's like you're so hyper aware of your appearance, what people are thinking of you, and what, like, I don't know, what sort of things you put out online as well that give people something to judge about you. I just described that super badly, but you're just hyper aware of what people, how people view you and what sort of
Yeah.
person they can judge you to be from the stuff you have online.
Yeah.
Particularly, yeah, just with like being on Tinder all the time, like they get 4 photos or so, whatever.
I love that you're aware of you feel self-conscious about what other people feel about you or think about you. I'm just like, gag, these men are trash. They can judge me if they want, but at the same time, they're like I'm like, men are trash. What right do they have to judge me? I am also trash. They're also trash. Like, there's
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like that's actually fantastic. Also, your Tinder profile is probably one of the best I've seen.
it's pretty lit, if I'm gonna be
I gotta
honest.
say, like, it's very like, hi, this is fucking me.
It's very much like, honestly, I'm not taking this that seriously. I'm just here for like, I mean, when gay guys put just here for fun in their Tinder profiles, it usually means they're there to hook up. When I say I'm just there for fun, I mean I'm literally there just for the shits and giggles.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, I think it's the best way to do it. Instead of
I
picking
mean,
out
yeah,
like
like
the
why would I take it that seriously? I don't want them to take me that seriously. I'm not looking for something serious with them. Like,
What do you mean you're not looking for something serious from Tinder?
I mean,
You're
like, look,
undermining all the Tinder relationships that have ever come to be, Joe.
no, but like the thing is, if something happens, it happens. I'm not gonna hope for something
Yeah.
that I don't know I'll get. Especially when it's not in my hands entirely. It's also in the hands of trash men. So yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely I think my Tinder, my current, I have updated it. It describes me, but it's still
Let's
like
have
describing me in a way that I want to be described.
let's
Have-
let's have a look. I
Let's have a
mean,
look.
that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
We all describe ourselves the way that we want to be described. But at the same time, like, I feel like mine just describes me the way that I would like to be described too.
I also there was this beautiful thing I heard the other day as well. It's like when we're looking for a relationship, it's I want them to get to know the person I want to become, not the person I am. And so when you're talking to them, you're putting forward all the stuff that like you're working on. Like, I want to be this person and I want to match you and be this amazing, compassionate, moral human being. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm gonna send that illusion.
Yeah. Can you hear my parents yelling at each other in the background?
I can't, but I guess
Work.
we'll find out later.
Don't don't worry, they are not yelling at each other, but they're yelling like to each other. They just hate. Apparently they just can't talk at a normal volume. But that is okay. Because my dad is upstairs and my mum is downstairs, and they're just like, I'm just
Oh.
gonna yell across the house. But that is okay. This is their house, so what am I gonna do?
I'm thankful I'm just living with my quiet sister.
No, this is a
Did you
family
check
of
out my
there are
Tinder
five
bio? I'm
people.
waiting for the validation. The five people
Just
in the house.
wait. Is it just the one sentence? I'm trying really. Oh wait, no, you did update it. Okay, it didn't load before. I'm trying really hard not to be a red flag, but maybe just that. What instrument are you fluent in it? Like, do jazz players dream and trumpet?
I did steal that from my friend Kate. Actually, all of that is from my friend Kate. I don't think you you didn't read it out loudly for the listeners to hear. But
Oh, are you comfortable with them hearing all of it?
all right, go.
Okay, Matt, 20, University of Melbourne, 14
Oh.
kilometers away. I'm trying really hard not to be a red flag, but I may be just that. Also, when you're really good in an instrument, are you fluent in it? Like, do jazz players dream in trumpet?
It's bloody brilliant, and I did not come up with it. Thank you very much, Kate Faulkner. Like,
Your masks are your gold mask is everything. I love it.
oh, thank you very much. Made by my mother, sent all the way from Ballarat. I was like, I think my photos are pretty fun.
They are fun. They're very fun.
Yeah, I got like my Jesus drag thing going. He's risen. But it was totally like, I'm like, it's so funny because when you're dating, it's always like this, oh, don't be a red flag, like, or like hunting for the red flags in somebody else. And so I think I was just talking about it with Kate, and then I was like, that'd be a funny Tinder bio. Like, tell people that you're a red flag when that's what everyone on Tinder is trying to avoid.
Yeah. I don't think you're very red flaggy though, like knowing you. But then again, I feel like people are very different in romantic relationships than they are when you're just friends with them.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, like
especially
I'm
in
not.
certain dynamics. Like some people just are very toxic for other people. Like on their own, they're like lovely people, but when you put the two of them together, they will destroy each other. It is insane. Have you noticed that? Like, have you ever seen that with two people?
Yes. Oh, plenty. They're lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely on their own, and then you're like, what is this toxic behavior?
Right.
I'll
It's
have
so
none of
insane
it.
to me.
What?
I've
Like,
met one person in my life who does that to me, where he just brings out the worst in me, but that's all in the past now.
ooh, what sort of
um,
like what did it bring out in you?
a lot of jealousy,
Yeah,
a lot of insecurity as well. It was not a fun time, but we can talk about that in a different episode because we've specifically set aside an episode for dating and the like.
we have. We will definitely get into it. But moving on.
Watch as I just like avoid the topic when it comes up.
No, I'm ready to talk about Grinder.
She's gonna be like, oh, so tell me about all of this destructive behavior of yours, giving us like big interviewer vibes, asking all the hard hitting questions.
Yeah, fuck
But I
90
think
year
it
olds.
was sorry, what? Something about 10-year-olds?
90 year olds.
Oh,
I'm like talking about self-destructive behavior. Like, yeah, I fuck 90 year olds. 90. 90.
oh, I hate that.
Daddy
Um,
issues.
No, it's a that's a fun time, but I think it was very brave of you to talk about your panic attacks on the podcast because mental health is such a stigmatized issue with men. I mean, like, it's pretty shit, but literally, society is just like, oh, you're a man, you don't get to talk about your feelings. Sorry, those don't exist.
I feel like thankfully I've grown up being relatively open about my feelings with my family and with my friends. But it's totally true. I mean, I think we mentioned it even in the first episode with like where straight guys they hang out and if they don't have a task to talk about, like the video game they're playing or the down ball they're playing at lunch and recess, like they don't talk.
Yeah, it is insane to me. But like,
Mm,
here's the thing: I grew up in a family where we didn't talk about our feelings at all. And
okay.
whenever I, cried or anything, it was always like, "Boys don't cry. If
Ah, I hate
you
it.
if you cry, we'll hit you again." And then I just hit, and then and then I cried even harder, and then it was just not a good time. But like, here's the thing. Like I've just never internalized that even as much as they tried to
Yeah.
get me to not feel. I've never been able to not talk about my feelings. I think it's partly because I was friends with girls a lot in
Oh yeah.
primary school and high school, and what we talked about were almost exclusively our feelings about everything. So I guess I just was lucky enough to never internalize that.
I was walking home from the grocery store today and I saw these two girls. They were both crying and they were walking side by side and one of them's like
Crying buddies.
crying buddies and one of them was like I am so sorry that I made you feel like I was avoiding you. I wasn't avoiding you. And I was like, "Oh my god, I love this. I love that I'm like just witnessing them like having their little what their little makeup session after what I imagine was a huge fight over lockdown."
Right. Or like a Cold War over lockdown where one of them just forgot the other existed and the other one was just like, oh my god, I can't believe she forgot that I existed. So she just didn't message and was like, when are you gonna notice that I haven't messaged you? I know the petty drama, the petty drama tea antics. I know all of it.
I know
Sweaty.
you were fucking active on social media. You were posting stories like every 10 minutes of the day, but not replying to my messages. But I was like so excited when I saw that. I was like, this is absolutely great. Girls working it out. girls
Yeah.
talking about it, which
Yeah, I feel like men have this weird thing where they'll like not talk about something and then 10 minutes later just agree on like they have an unspoken agreement that after 10 minutes it's all good. which is which is like in some ways it makes life easier, but when you think about it, it doesn't feel particularly healthy that you never talk about what happened. You're just like,
be-
okay, cool, we're over it.
it's so important to like not to just be like, oh yeah, I'm over it, but to let them know how you felt, and to say, this happened and this like it genuinely hurt me.
Yeah.
It's so important to be aware of how you're hurting others. And I hate it particularly when it gets to like a fight or something, and it's
Yeah.
always like, and everyone's fighting over the details of the whatever of the drama of the situation, but you need to stop fighting about the details of, oh, you said this which was awful and blah 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 blah. You just need to be like, I'm hurt and I want an apology, or this is how
Yeah.
this made me feel.
Yeah.
It's not about the details of who did what anymore. It's about looking after each other. Just my
Yeah.
thoughts.
But here's the thing. Straight men act like that, where they're like, everything is fine after 10 minutes. We never talk about our feelings. Queer people, I feel like, are the opposite.
Oh
We have
yes.
feeling vomit. We cannot stop talking about our feelings. It's all we talk about all day, every day.
Oh, fuck me. I'm just
Like, even when you know, you're like, oh shit, I just complained to them about this thing the other day. I shouldn't be unloading all of my emotional, like, baggage on them again. You just can't stop it. Queer people are like that. Like,
literally, I'm just like, every time I'm on call or something, I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm trying to talk about something other than myself, but yeah, I kind of just want to like, okay, so this happened.
yeah. I mean, part of me is like sometimes just like, oh yeah, maybe my friends just talk to me about all this stuff because I have big shrink energy. And then I remember it's not that I have big shrink energy, it's just that all of my friends are queer and queers love to talk about their feelings.
What's big shrink energy?
Just like big, like therapist energy, just like
Oh yeah.
people just unload all of their feelings on you. And I'm like, at first I thought it was that. And then I realized, no, all my friends are just very, very queer and queers love to talk about their feelings.
I gotta say that like sometimes when someone comes to me with a problem and I'm like, fuck, I don't know how to be a therapist. Like, I don't know what to say in this situation. And like they always say, you know, sometimes it's just best to listen, and that's all you need to do. You don't need to resolve their issue. But I'm such a
Yeah.
resolver. Like, I feel like I need to have the
Same,
answer.
yeah. You see, here's the thing. I'm a huge resolver, and I feel like many problems can be resolved quite easily, but oftentimes people don't want to hear the resolution. They just want you to listen. And I think that it's really important for us to sometimes just be like, do you want a resolution or do you want me to just listen? Because
Exactly.
like sometimes my friends will tell me about their issues and I'll be like, okay, well, you solve it by doing this, this, and this. Talk about it with them and talk about it with this other person and solve and fix things, or like, you know, maybe you need to put more time into this thing and not that thing, or whatever. And people
Yeah.
would be like very defensive about it, and I'm like, okay, so it's quite clear that you just wanted me to listen.
Yeah, because really, they already have their own resolution in their head.
Yeah.
And you just need to hear how they want to resolve it and then validate
Yeah.
that. Basically,
Yeah.
it's something I've learned a lot more, like particularly this year after just being through my own shit. I'm like, okay, now I know what I want. I'm like, I just want someone to say, yeah, that's so crap. Like, get rid of him.
Yeah.
So but yeah, also just telling them, like, your friends don't want you to, like, I don't know, also helping them to see the other side is something I do as well.
Yeah.
I always I want to say, all right, I like your feelings. I imagine this is how this person what this person is going through. I don't want you to judge them, and don't judge yourself either. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what I go to.
Yeah, it is kind of like that because in real life, I don't think anyone wakes up in the morning and says, "Today I'm going to be a bad person," or they say,
No.
"Today I'm going to hurt XYZ." Like people are just going about their lives, and sometimes they aren't particularly considerate of other people's feelings, or they just don't know how they're making you feel. So I don't think that in real life there are plenty of like villains out there, trash,
No.
terrible, shitty people. It's just, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes your feelings get hurt, and that's a natural part of everyday life.
And
Like, as much as I like to joke about men being total shit, like, I understand that is not the reality of the situation. Men are pretty shit, though.
and even though like if like people don't wake up and intentionally be evil, but if they have been evil, it is okay
Yeah,
to give them a nod and say, hey, like, yeah, that actually like
wasn't
that
cool.
hurt me. And my
Yeah.
sister told me the best way to approach something is to never say, you did this, because that's going to open up room for defense. You always just
Yeah.
you always just address the situation. This happened
Right.
and it made me feel
Made me
this
feel.
well. Yeah. And if you
Yeah.
keep to that structure, then they can only respond with empathy. They will not
Yeah,
defend themselves.
that is classic peer mediation, classic therapy strategy. Because in high school we had to do this thing called peer mediation. Well, we didn't have to, but like some of us did a course, like a short, like
Yeah.
2-day course on like how to be a peer mediator and mediate conflict, and that was like one of the big things. And they were like, always use humanizing language by using people's names rather than pronouns, and like, yeah,
Ooh.
all that stuff. Yeah, a lot of conflict resolution stuff, a lot of like empathy stuff like that. Yeah. So we are getting close to the end of our podcast today, but we do have something very, very exciting to introduce y'all to.
Which
Matt, do you wanna
is
do you wanna
it
jump in?
the TWITTER Twitter? Tweet little birds.
Yes.
We hate social media on this podcast, but we're gonna jump on.
Let's just backtrack for a second. We do not hate social media.
Social
We
media.
just feel like this is a great way to engage with our audience, and you guys can talk to us on Twitter. It's just a fun time.
Yes, absolutely. So, I don't know. I guess just to have some sort of way to respond, whether that's through the voice memos or through Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'd love to have a little bit of interaction. And also, we'd really love to frame it as if there's something you don't agree with, like be like, actually, I think this, and we can
Yeah.
bring it up in the next episode and talk about
Tell
it.
us that we're trash.
Tell us that our trash. Cancel us. Like.
Step on my neck, daddy. No, but like, agree with us, disagree with us, tell us we're trash, tell us that you're trash, ask us for advice, give us advice,
Or just, praise us
put
as
it
well.
all out there. In under, how many characters is it on Twitter? I don't know. I don't really
240?
use Twitter.
I don't know. 280.
Surely more than 40. 40 characters is like
I
nothing.
said 240.
Oh, 240?
I can't remember.
If it's...
I don't know.
Let's do a quick Google. Rapid Googling noises. Twitter character limit. Furious Googling.
And while Joe Googles, I will talk to you.
In
I
a
hope you're
soothing
going-
voice.
Hi, my name's Matthew McDonald, and I'm here to help you. Take
Hi,
one
what can
deep
we do
breath
for you
in
today? Breathe in
and
and
out.
breathe out.
Ooh, that was a nice voice.
Ooh. No, 280 characters apparently.
280. I did get there. Now,
Yes.
if you're feeling angry or anxious or sad, you can use Twitter to vent your emotions.
Have a nice day, and remember to tune in next week to our podcast. This has been Queers with Queries, and we will see you next week.
Ta-ta for now.